Well, hello there, Aries. It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we are doing your weekly tarot reading. So this is good for the week of September 12th through the 18th. We'll take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot for more details. And if you're enjoying the content that I create or resonating with the message, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider commenting, or subscribing. I really do appreciate all of your support. Okay, let's get into your reading. Wow, Starfish Spirit, open to infinite possibility. Wow. You know, it really is this energy of kind of, we're having the full moon in Pisces actually today on the 10th. And it's about understanding that balance between like work and life, allowing some of those emotions to leave that are holding us back from what it is that we're truly wanting. And I feel like that's coming into play here because, yeah, you have why. It's almost this energy of why am I putting so much time and energy into my work, into my career, into my relationships? It's kind of like taking a really good look at it and asking yourself, is this what I want for myself? You know, it's almost like you have this moment where it's almost as if you're going to have a moment where something happens and you're kind of like, your boss or somebody in your life says, is that all that you have? Is that the best you could do? And you're going to stop. It's almost like this feeling of stopping in your tracks and going, whoa, wait a minute. What am I doing here? I thought I was doing this and you were going to be happy with what I was doing. And all of a sudden it's kind of like, no, wait a minute. I've got to shift the gears. I have to ask myself, why am I doing everything or anything in my life? Is it in alignment with who I truly am? And some things I think you will say, yes, this is what I want for myself. I feel like you're discovering something that is still not in alignment with who you are. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Ascended Masters coming in to help you with this. Aries, I feel like this is one of those aha moments. One of those moments where you're kind of like, you may have even a little bit tricked yourself into thinking that you were doing this for you. And then all of a sudden you realize I really wasn't, and it's kind of like tweaking it, kind of asking yourself, yeah, look at this. Yeah. Knight of Cups, getting back into your heart space. Okay. So your present energy is you're figuring out the truth. That's something that you were doing, you thought was in alignment with your true authentic self. You honestly did, okay? But there's this energy. Somebody says something to you. I think it comes to you in a conversation. Somebody says something to you, and you're taken aback by it. It's almost as if when they say this, make this comment, and I don't even think that they know how profound it is for you. But this moment happens, they say something to you, and it's almost like they're putting a mirror up to your face, right? And you're kind of like, oh my goodness. Like I see some form of truth in what this person says. It's not that necessarily everything they say is true, but there's this inkling, there's this little thread of truth that kind of like really is almost a little bit of a stab in the heart. And at that moment, you have almost this kind of like deep, wow, it's intense. It is intense because you kind of just say, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting so much time and energy into whatever this is? It's a little bit of a dagger to the heart, but what you're understanding is that you've done this to yourself. That's what's so painful. It's not as if somebody else has done it to you. You've done this to yourself. It's almost like, and sometimes those are the hardest truths, right? I mean, we've all had those moments where we realize, okay, I thought that this was my intention for going down this path or putting so much time and energy into this relationship, into this job, into this career, you know. Yeah. It's putting you into a new realm of understanding that the person that you have to forgive is yourself. Because we have the Knight of Swords. I feel like you may have been trying to move very quickly ahead in one direction, and you thought you were in alignment with your true heart, that you were doing this because it was something that you wanted to do for yourself, that it was a good thing, right? And then we have the Moon card. It's like suddenly out of the blue, I feel like a new part of your path is opening up and you're recognizing, well, wait a minute, you know, I wasn't. When I went forth in this direction, I really wasn't in alignment with who I truly am. You're kind of coming into that realization and, you know, this truth. I'm going to share a quick story with you. I had a moment like this where when I was a teacher, I was extremely dedicated to my job. And, you know, I had people in my life that was, you know, you put too much time and energy into that. But I really and truly said to myself, well, I'm doing it because it's really in alignment with who I truly am, right? And I did. I really enjoyed my job. But not only, you know, was I trying to do all of this for my students, I also was trying to do a lot for the school community also. And so every time, you know, there was a committee or something like that came, I was participating, right? And finally, all of a sudden I realized, you know, I have way too much on my plate. Like, I don't have time for anything but work. And I went and I talked to my principal and I said, you know, you have to help me take something off of my plate, because I had a lot of responsibilities at school. And I was like, you have to help me. We have to take something off my plate. And she looked at me and she said, no, I really need you to do everything. In that moment, I realized, okay, that a lot of what I was doing was trying to, you know, I was in alignment with trying to really help my students, to help the school, to help the community, right? But there was also suddenly this realization that I was doing a lot of this because I didn't feel worthy of who I was. So I thought the more I worked, the harder I worked, right? The more responsibilities I took on in my job, right? The more worthy I would feel, or I would appear to others. And when she said, no, I can't take anything off your plate, and I was literally like in tears in her office saying, I'm really burning out here. You know, I really need something off my plate. I thought, she doesn't really care about me at all as a person, right? She's just really happy that I'm willing to do all this work, you know? I came out of that asking myself, why? Why am I putting so much time and energy into something, and then she doesn't even care about me as a person, right? All she sees me is as kind of like a cog in the wheel. It really put me, I mean, I ended up leaving that position at the end of the school year because I was like, yeah, no, I cannot work for somebody that doesn't see me as a person, as a human, as, you know, a spirit, a soul that also needs time away from the job. And I feel like that's kind of that energy where I realized in that moment that I had put myself into that position. I had said yes to all of these things, right? And there were reasons. I mean, it really helped me to go down deep and ask myself, why did I put myself into that position? And I feel like that's where you are going to be, okay? Because look, here is your obstacle this week: deception, and then, you know, the Four of Cups. Feeling discontented. I feel like, you know, this is kind of like the deception. You're going to find out. It's kind of like for me, when I found out, you know, I thought my principal cared about me. Well, she did when I was doing everything she wanted me to, right? But then when I said, I need a break, I need something taken off my plate, suddenly, she really didn't. And so I feel as if that you're going to have this moment where you're kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought people cared about me. I thought we were all in this together, I had really and truly kind of convinced myself, okay? I had kind of really almost, this is the sabotage card, right? I had really almost like sabotaged myself, my own happiness, because I was convinced, that I was really doing it for the greater good. And I was in some line. I really was, right? But there was also this other part of me that I really wasn't willing to take a look at. And I feel like all of a sudden you are going to be taking a look at it. Yes, yes. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so things are going to turn for you, Aries. See, you have the Devil with the Empress. This energy of being really attached to being everything to everyone, right? If you're resonating with this at all, okay? That's kind of how I was, right? I wanted to be everything to everyone in that school community, but I wasn't in it. I wasn't doing it really out of my heart. It was almost kind of like I was looking for worthiness. I mean, honestly, for me, it was that. I'm not saying that's for you. I feel when you have this aha moment, you're going to see how you were somehow attached. Okay, the Devil card is about attachments, being attached to being everything to every woman, to everyone, because the Empress is all of the queens combined, everything. All right, the epitome of everything, right? Of all the queens, Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, right? The epitome of, the perfect whatever it is that you are putting a lot of time and energy into. And, you're kind of attached to it. It's burning you out. It's almost like this sense of perfectionism, right? And taking actions based just on trying to be everything to everyone. So here is your advice from Spirit, understanding, getting really clear about what you are deserving of. When I went and spoke to my principal, I deserve to have to work for somebody, right? That understood, I just really couldn't do it all, they're just, that something had to give. And I feel like you're going to have one of those conversations first with yourself and then perhaps with other people in your life that says, there's more possibilities out there than me. Just, I really send you lots of love and hugs, Aries, because this is a difficult energy at this time, okay? And we have the Mercury Retrograde for the next 3 weeks. I feel like you're going to work over this. This is not just like a 1 week thing, right? It's probably going to be, working on it, perhaps, for the next 3 or 4 weeks, or maybe even a little bit longer, kind of really delving down. What is it, what is it I'm deserving of? What is it that you are working so hard at in order to try to acquire? There's a feeling here that you're trying to acquire. And it probably does have something to do with worthiness because of the deserving card. But you are worthy. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is just so lovely. Page of Cups again. Giving yourself love, compassion in this moment, right? I feel like, you have the Six of Cups. Maybe looking back at a time where you did have something that you were deserving of, or a time where you can kind of reflect on a situation where you worked really hard, maybe to garner somebody's, garner their attention, their respect, their whatever, right? I'll have to say I did a lot in my school because I wanted my principal to respect me, to like me, right? In that moment when she said no, I can't take anything off your plate. I realized she didn't respect me, right? She really didn't. But we all have those moments. Those are the moments when we have to look ourselves in the eye and in the mirror, right? And say, okay, how did I get to this position? Why did I make these choices? And when you do, the wheel is going to turn for you. You're going to have this balance. This is also the windfall card of the universe bringing something in order to help you to find this balance, perhaps between work and life. Yeah, really learning something new. Learning how to love you, learning that you are not what other people, I feel like there's this energy, you are not what other people think. You are what you think of yourself, right? You're not what other people think of you. You are what you think of yourself. It's about looking closely at who you are and loving yourself for who you are and not worrying about trying to please everybody out there. This has been a very long journey for you. I do feel like it is based maybe mostly in your career sector, that you're trying to build this sense of worthiness, but you're stepping into, it's about, wait a minute. Why am I mean, it's kind of like me. I was like, why am I working so hard at this? I have no time to go out with my friends or spend time with my family, right? It's like, I have to have more balance in my life. Yeah. And it's not just the time that we put into things, it's the energy. You could work at something 8 hours a day, right? And if you are working super hard and it's not really in alignment with who you are or your soul's purpose, it will drain you to the point where when you get home from work, you have no energy to do anything that really brings you joy, right? And I feel like that's what you're looking at. It's kind of like, okay, is this in alignment with who I really want to be? How can I surrender even more in this moment? This is a good card. It is essential to have clear, strong intentions of what we desire, but it's equally important for us to detach from the outcome. It's time to surrender. Let the universe have some breathing room to work. Let go of the wheel and trust so deeply that your trust turns into gratitude for what you cannot see yet, but is coming. Yeah. And I feel, there is this energy of, really being attached to having something, the Empress, building the business, it's almost, this is an idealism that is not even yours. And that's the thing, Aries, that I think, the message that it's kind of like this Empress energy that you are so attached to having others see you as. It's not even what you want for yourself. And that's the really hard thing, is when you step into that alignment of, I'm working so hard to be this, but this isn't me. Not that you're not the Empress, but you're not this version of the Empress. You're your own version of the Empress. You're trying to be the Empress, but a version of the Empress that is somebody else's ideal and not your ideal. Wow. Really amazing reading. Really amazing. Yeah, just keep it open to infinite possibilities of looking at other ways, right? Of putting down the image of the Empress that, others maybe have created for you in your life, right? And stepping into that energy of what is your version of the Empress, right? That there are different versions of the Empress. The Empress is not just one version, one epitome, right? It is kind of a combination. Okay, what they're saying is, like, think about the Empress is, let's think that the Empress is a cake, okay? And you need all the ingredients, right? She's all 4 queens, okay? And gender doesn't matter, but the Queen of Hearts, Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. She's all four of those, okay? All the ingredients that you would put into a cake. I'm not the best baker, but I can tell you, it does not matter. I can follow the recipe to the core, okay? The flour, the eggs, the sugar, the milk, okay? I'm such a bad baker. I don't even know what goes in a cake. But, you know, think about it. I can follow the recipe. I can measure the ingredients, okay? Every single time that cake will come out a little bit different, okay? So it's kind of like, I don't know, is that because the oven is, you know, a couple of degrees off, or I take it out of the oven 30 seconds too early or 30 seconds too late, right? It's the energy of realizing that you are trying to follow some formula to be this version of an empress, but there's all different types of empresses, right? So it's kind of like just shifting your perspective of not trying to be somebody else's version of an empress and being your own version of the empress. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it there. I know I got a little long-winded there. I do personal readings. If you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd be so honored to do a personal reading for you. I really would be. And I appreciate all of your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again. Much love and light to you. Bye for now.